83 Mustang is leaking, and I'm so used to these Mustangs leaking around the dipstick tube for the transmission. So what I've done in the past, and I've done this on several cars, is I buy one of these Lokar kits, and basically what it does is you take out your your old style dipstick tube and you replace it with this. The big reason these things start to leak, and I even put a new grommet on this and it went all of a month before it started leaking, is that a lot of the aftermarket grommets don't fit well, and even if you buy the ones that are designed to fit well, I think what happens, these things vibrate over time and the hole gets enlarged on the actual transmission itself, and they just won't seal after a while. So I tried putting some, as you can see, I put some, not a very good job, but I put a RTV on it to even try to get it to seal. Finally gave up. I don't like tearing apart a car over and over again. These always work. What I like about this too is it repositions the actual spout to a place that you like. The only thing that matters is you don't touch the exhaust with these things, because obviously automatic transmission fluid. And a lot of times cars that sit will have more of these leaking problems than, say, a car that's driven every day, simply because when all the fluid drains from the radiator for your automatic transmission and all that, it'll start to fill back up and there'll be a lot of oil sitting there. If you drive it a lot, it just won't be sitting in this range where it leaks over the spout area. It's funny, if you look at most modern cars now, if they do actually have one of these dipsticks, they usually stop it about here, and it's welded up to there, so that way the actual part where the fluid is sitting when it's not running is not exposed to this area. So anyways, I'm going to replace it with a Lokar. I have a C5 transmission, and a C5 and a C4 are almost identical transmissions. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in and replace of it. And then after that, I should be good to go. But one of the things to keep in mind is this little rubber piece goes in first. You put it in the transmission after you clean the transmission, of course. And then you just stick this piece up and over it. It's fairly easy. The hardest part is actually mounting this. Generally what I end up doing is I bend these straight and try to mount it up by the ledge for the where all the cables and stuff like that go for like the AC and all that. That's usually what I do, but we'll see on this car where I end up putting it. These Firewall or transmission mount, so I always get an FM. You wouldn't want to get a transmission mount one unless you were probably a racer or something. So you just double check that the everything is in, which it is. You just simply slide the metal into that. So here's a new dipstick. It's not touching anything, which is the goal. And I made sure that it will not touch the exhaust. The exhaust is going to come out right about here. It's not touching the engine, so it's right where you want it installed. And it's also at a convenient location to actually check it in the future. The original location was a pain to check. So at this point, I'm back to reassembling. So the new dipstick, transmission dipstick tube is installed. As you can see, it's at a really nice location. Easy to check, easy to get to. Before it was way buried in there. It was a pain. So all installed and looking good at this point.